one team that don't look like being in a title race anytime soon, Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, what has gone wrong for them? Lost 5 out of their last 7. The fans are booing Nuno Espirito Santo's substitutions, and reports today, time of recording Sunday, came out that he could potentially be sacked as manager just 17 games into his tenure at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
And also the notifications are on, just in case.
Yeah.
It's going to happen as we finish recording.
I know, which is going to be annoying.
Remember, this is Daniel Levy.
Yeah, but
of course it's going to happen at like 10 o'clock at night or something.
Yeah, but if you remember when Mourinho got sacked back in April, it was 9 o'clock on a Monday morning.
And it was very much out of nowhere.
Yeah, so same could happen with Nuno tomorrow. But yeah, it's not going well for them in the league. They sit in 8th place, I believe. Lost 3-0 to Manchester United this weekend. Only scored 9 goals in the league all season. And
That's
then there is the age-old problem.
When you don't have a clinical striker in peak form.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. You got a striker who clearly doesn't want to be there. He's having an awful season in the league. Yes, he might be doing it in the cups for them and for England, but his league form is dreadful.
It's pitiful.
Like, if they had a different striker available, I would be dropping Kane without any hesitations.
What if you believe all the Tottenham fans on Twitter, the Dane Scarlet's the future? So,
well, you
that
need
wasn't
to
dig
give
at
him
Dane
a run,
Scarlett. Like, I'm sure he's pretty good, but you know, Tottenham haven't. They've just never had a backup striker good enough for years that was actually their player. Like Carlos Vinicius was decent, but he's not theirs.
Yeah, and that loan got terminated after half a season.
No, I thought he
meant
finished.
to be like an 18-month loan.
I don't actually remember the length of it, but I know he did the whole season.
I thought it was like an 18-month loan or 2-year loan, and it got cancelled after one. And I think after the loan, there was reports that he could have made it permanent, but he's gone to Benfica, I believe it is.
I think Benfica was where he came from, but it's not hugely important.
But anyway, Spurs. I mean, everyone this week were talking about, is this going to be Ollie's last game in charge if they lose? But it really did look like Nuno, who was the manager, more in trouble, because they were just all over the shop.
It was coined as El Sacico for a reason.
Yeah.
The loser
we
was going
joked
to get
about it on
terminated.
Thursday. Yeah.
But, yeah, they just... Someone didn't see him right with Tottenham.
Like
they're used to conservative styles of football, but this is not good.
No. I mean, just looking at them defensively for all 3 of their goals, they were just lackadaisical. They just didn't think about it at all, did they?
You look up lackadaisical in the dictionary, it just says Eric Dyer as the definition.
Yeah. It really does. Like, he was... Like, especially for the 3rd goal that Rashford scored, like, he put his hand up for offside, and he's the one that's playing him on.
You know what's funny? I had my eye on Rashford in that whole move, because I just thought, he's quite open there, isn't he? And then they had the chance to slot him through, and I'm thinking, just put him through. How easy this is for him.
Like, it's just comically bad defending. I mean, I don't know what Spurs need, because they've had 2 world-class managers in Pochettino and Mourinho that couldn't fix this problem. And now they've got Nuno, who is obviously a different style manager compared to Jose, but there just seems to be this problem, but I can't figure out what the problem is.
I think the problem was from the very start of the appointment. Because remember, he was nowhere near their first choice, and it couldn't have been more obvious.
Well, yeah, didn't they go through like 11 different choices before he actually landed on Nuno?
Remember,
like,
he started with
there was so
Conte,
many...
and then there was all the talks with Fonseca, and it looked like that was pretty much done. And then that fell through. And then Nuno was just in.
I feel like we saw the likes of Eddie Howe on the list, Brendan Rodgers. I feel like we Unai Emery was even linked with the job at one point. I feel like there was so many names linked with that Spurs job, and like you said, it was clear that he wasn't ever first choice for the job. And it's been clear to see.
I was going to say, maybe that rubbed in to the dressing room as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a debate whether the team's paying for him or not. I can't speak about that for my club.
It's weird because the league form suggests not, but then you look at how they're doing in the Europa Conference League as well, and they're third in their group. And you're like, they can score the goals in that tournament, but again, defensively they're really poor, and I just don't know why, because they've made 4 signings this summer, so it's not like there's been a massive turnover in the squad. So it's just question marks as to what is going wrong with them.
But it's basically, you look at their defence, right, they signed Christian Romero, but the rest of them are still the exact same options.
Yeah.
Emerson Royale maybe is the only one you could say hasn't done good.
Yeah.
See what he's offered them for 30 million.
It has been a very strange signing. I just didn't understand the whole signing of him in the first place. I don't think that was a position they realistically needed.
No, it definitely wasn't. They needed centre-backs because, alright, you signed Romero, but you're stuck with Eric Dyer.
I mean, you can't expect Romero to come in straight away because he's only, 19, 20 years old. And you're expecting him to come in and dominate the Premier League straight away. It's never going to happen. I mean, yeah, might have been class for Atalanta last season, but expecting him to do that in the Premier League is just a tough ask for him, and it's just such bad all round from Spurs. On the positive note, though, we'll talk about Man United now.
The positive note, go fuck yourself again.
United 3-0 winners.
Go on, now you're going to spin this.
I've got nothing to say. Change of formation, going with 2 up top seemed to really work. I did like the forward 3 players in Bruno, Cavani and Ronaldo. That looked really good up top. It is something I'm hoping when we play these big teams again in the future that we do go with, because at the back we look... Yes, Spurs had their chances and they did have that 1 goal correctly ruled off. But I've got to say, I feel like the back 4 did really well compared to like last week. Like, it was light and day difference between the 2 sides.
Ollie's at the wheel.
I mean,
Ollie's
like
at the wheel. Just
like you said to me though in our chat yesterday, it is such a roller coaster of emotions, isn't it?
Of course, the bus thing needs to just stop. Because now all this one will be is going up and up and up again for at least another month, and then you'll go back down again.
Yeah. No complaints realistically over that whole performance. Very good. Much better, and it was positive to see that sort of reaction from the team. Like we said on the previous show, I wasn't too sure as to what sort of reaction United would have in that game, but it was good to see them bounce back with a very commanding 3-0 victory.
If there's one thing we could add of it, did they manage to make the 3-5-2 work?
Yeah, I've got to say, I think they did quite well with it.
I always thought of a 3-5-2, you have that because it's 5 at the back, technically, when you defend. So you don't really need 2 holding midfielders. So when he still persisted with Fred and McTominay, it was like, alright, you've changed the shape, but you've still stuck in the same problem.
Yeah, but I think maybe because they weren't tested that much down the middle, that's why it looked like were they both really needed. Where I think if we come up against players who will happily run through the middle at you, then we'll see why he has decided to do that with them 2 defensive midfielders.
Like teams like Liverpool.
Yes.